Good afternoon. I am Andrea Chisholm with the Midday News. A special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. Tensions are again high in a section of Maxfield Avenue known as Ramsey Road. It follows the alleged killing of 16-year-old Ronaldo Smith by police officers yesterday afternoon. Residents say that Smith was watching television when police barged in and shot him more than once. They remain adamant that Smith's killing is unjustified. The stepfather of Ronaldo, who did not want to be on camera, is refuting claims that a gun was taken from the scene.
No, yeah, I went down there, the hospital, I see him. I know I have some shot inside his chest here. He has some shot in his chest and break, right hand break. And he have 3 cut on him and him chin. And I was talking to him and said, boy, look how I talk to you. Talk to you and look there now. You understand? And he just shut him eye. When I finished talking to him, he just close him eye and he just rock so. And the nurse him saying come there dead.
The Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom is probing the incident. As the government continues its fight against crime, there is a renewed call for the public to play a deeper role in getting rid of criminals. The call came at a recent Community Safety and Security Conference in St. Mary. Head of the Community Safety and Security Branch, Superintendent Steve McGregor, says if citizens and the police work together, there can be a dramatic reduction in crime.
The way to make a permanent dent in the crime situation in our country is by empowering our communities, going into the communities and empowering these communities to show the few who are intent on committing crime and violence in our country that we are organized, we are one.
Superintendent McGregor also called for renewed focus on neighborhood watch groups. He also recommended that police youth clubs be part of the structure of the neighborhood watch groups.
Because they make up the bulk of those who are being killed in our country. And equally, they make up the bulk of those who are doing the killing in our country. So you want to have them represented on your group, so you can cause them to realize what is happening and to hear from them and for them to be a part of what you're doing.
In the meantime, Superintendent McGregor wants police personnel in Portland to do more to tackle crime.
Saying that Portland had the lowest number of murders recorded for last year. Portland used to be the only parish that was recorded single-digit murders in our country. And it went over to double-digit, even though it was the lowest. So what I want Portland to do is...
The United States yesterday lifted sanctions on aluminum giant Rusal, Windalco's parent company, and other Russian firms linked to billionaire Oleg Deripaska. That's despite a Democratic-led push in Congress to maintain the restrictions. Last month, Mining Minister Robert Montego said he was cautiously optimistic that normality will return to Windalco's operations with the lifting of the U.S. sanctions. But what does the lifting of the sanctions mean? We go to the CNN for details.
Sanctions policy is really driven by punishing bad behavior. Oleg Deripaska was listed along with 6 other oligarchs back in April because Oleg Deripaska was deemed to be working on behalf of the Russian Federation, the Russian government. 3 companies affiliated with him were listed, 1, because they were controlled by him directly or indirectly, and 2nd, because the latter 2 were subsidiaries of the original one, the EN Group. The decision to lift sanctions in this case, which really means removing these companies from what's called the SDN list, the Specially Designated Nationals list, means that people can do business with them. There's no punishment for that. The sanctions against these companies, however, were never actually implemented, despite the fact that they were listed back in April. There have been these general licenses that have allowed business to continue. The significance of lifting these sanctions today means that these companies can operate as normal. And the question is, has Oleg Deripaska really, truly diminished his control in these companies so that he can't benefit from them and so that the Kremlin can't benefit from them? And there's a lot of controversy around that.
Does the current plastic ban go far enough to protect the environment? Well, the mayor of Montego Bay doesn't think so. Homer Davis was speaking in Cambridge, St. James on the weekend, where several garbage skips were handed over to help deal with the pileup of garbage. We have more in this report from TVJ's Prince Moore.
They're saying that cleanliness is next to godliness, or is godliness. And I am a godly man, and my environment must be clean.
Mayor of Montego Bay Homer Davis declaring that under his watch, his city will be clean. The Cambridge community in the second city now has more resources to carry out the mayor's wishes, after several garbage skips were donated by the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA. The authority also gave its assurance of a timely maintenance schedule. But despite the maintenance plan, the mayor is urging the business community to dispose of its garbage properly. Residents were also issued with a warning.
Because you are living on top of the hill and a gully runs beside your home, then you discard your garbage in that gully, not knowing that when the rain falls and the river comes down and the gully comes down, you are transferring your problems into somebody else's backyard.
It is really, really a pleasure to have something like this in the community, knowing where it is coming from.
I feel good about it because all the old things that would harbor the sickness is gone.
And we hope that the community people will put the garbage in the skip instead of dropping it on the ground.
Despite this major environmental move at the community level, Mayor Davis is not satisfied with a topical decision with a national impact, the ban on plastic bags.
It is smaller plastic bags that goes up to 24 by 24. But as I have said elsewhere, I wish it was a total ban. The styrofoam boxes, I wish it was now that that ban was effective. It will be used for another 2 years, but not because it will be used for another 2 years, we must continue to discard it in a very irresponsible way.
Prince Moore, TVJ News.
The community coming out to help is one feature of rural life in Jamaica, and when that help is for a school, the gratitude shows no bounds. This afternoon, we take a look at how one Clarendon community reached out to help its early childhood institution and addressed a major problem.
Students at the Shekels Early Childhood Institution in Clarendon can learn more comfortably whenever it rains. Thanks to residents, parents and past students from the Shekels Massive Group who did some repair work on the school over the weekend. Principal of the Shekels Early Childhood Institution, Carol Booth, said whenever it rains, members of staff have to shift up the classrooms and set buckets to catch water.
I'm very grateful this afternoon for the help of the overseas community members and board members from the community and past students who have, our roofing has been leaking for a while and the Solitex inside has been destroyed.
But the roof is just one of the school's problems. Ms. Booth said ever since houses were built across the road from the school, they have seen increased flooding. She adds that whenever it rains heavily, the school has to be closed for up to 2 weeks.
The resettlement of, you call it Demby Crawl there, that Jamal called resettle the people, the drainage should dig across the street. It is not done. So it caused the flooding more over here. So we used to have flooding, but not that much. We used to have the flooding a little when it pour, but since if the rain even drew, we have flood.
What can be done about that?
Jamal could need to come in and dig the drain across the road for it to be done. That's less flooding.
The third problem is fencing. Ms. Booth said the fence at the back of the school was stolen and the school cannot afford to replace it.
If you notice the back fence in there, they had stole the fence, so we need that to fix also. I had inspection since school reopened, and I got time to fix it, at least 2 months to get it done from ECC.
So you would need assistant as well to do that?
To do the fence as well, assistant for the fencing as well.
It's sad. It's very sad because it's there to protect our kids, and some persons just move it, and I don't know what they do with it, but we'll pray for them.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
And in sports, world and Olympic champion Shelly Fraser-Pryce and double Olympic champion Elaine Thompson opened their 2019 season with easy wins over the 60 meters race in the Queen Grace Jackson meet at the National Stadium over the weekend. The MVP conditioned stars were kept apart facing the starter in separate 60-meter runs. Competing in Section 1, Thompson clocked a moderate 7.24, well off her meet record 7.02, which she set in 2017. Thompson, who ended 2018 early with an injury, finished ahead of Jadine Williams of Swept Track Club 7.42 seconds and Sprintex Sasha-Lee Forbes 7.43. And Fraser-Pryce got off to her usual blistering start to take Section 2 in 7.21 for the overall win. Donya Ewers of UTEC was a distant second in 7.55 and Fraser-Pryce's teammate Strabani Nanda a close third in 7.56. Meanwhile, MVP's Nestor Carter took the men's 60 meters in 6.67, just ahead of Sprintex Andrew Fisher, now representing Bahrain, who clocked 6.68. Carter's MVP teammate Julian Fort was third in 6.72.
I'm mentally strong. I bounced back last year, went to the Central American Championship. I won that, so we're just taking it a race at a time till October.
Meanwhile, Fisher, who has changed the camps, is also looking ahead to a good season.
Well, it's not really been hard because I've been home training since I made the switch. I was at Stets, now I'm at Sprintech. So it's normal.
I was a little surprised when I heard Andrew Fisher of Sprintech. Why the change of club?
My coach, my former coach, he's now, what should I say? He's going back to school. So he couldn't really balance the high school and the college. So that's why I made the switch.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Do remember to join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.